Hi, and welcome to this segment of the Women's Empowerment Network Conference, Leaving an Inheritance to Two Generations. I'd like to thank Lisa Nicole Cloud for this opportunity to share my message. She is an extraordinary and amazing woman. I love her and respect her and honor her for her contribution to our community, her business savvy, and her ability to balance her being a wife and a wonderful mother. Thank you, Lisa. I want to go ahead and extend to you a special gift that you can download at marthadoddspeaks.com. It is a wealth report that actually elaborates on our topic for today, and it will be helpful to you. Welcome to this segment of the Women's Conference. My name is Martha Dodd, and we will be talking about leaving an inheritance for two generations. First, I want to extend gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity that Lisa Nicole Cloud has extended to me to actually share her platform with my message. My experiences that led me to my journey and my destination as a financial strategist began with a telephone call that was really devastating in my life, and it was life-changing. When I was 28 years old, my mother-in-law called me one afternoon when I arrived from home from work. And she said, "Martha, your husband has been in a fatal car accident." I was devastated when she told me that. I wailed and I was in disbelief at that moment. I said, "It can't be true. It can't be true." And after that, I collected myself, found out that it was true, gathered all my things, and ran to South Carolina, or drove to South Carolina as fast as I could with my son and my niece who were with me at the time. After the funeral had taken place, I actually looked for all the documents that I thought he had taken care of, the will, the actual deeds to property, keys to the bank deposit boxes, and I couldn't find anything in one location. Well, there wasn't a will. I never found out what bank was associated with the bank deposit keys. And I was devastated because now I'm alone, having to rear my children by myself, when I was accustomed to having two incomes in the household. So my question to you, and for you to stop and think, do you have a will? Or if you have a will, how old is your will? Do you have children? Do you have a will that specifies who the guardian of your children are? It's very important and it's very, very vital. Well, today I'm going to talk about leaving an inheritance. The Bible does say, "A good man that leaveth an inheritance to his children's children." So at this time, I want to go into how my journey of staying in a network of like minds, business networks, and also my Econ, which is a financial strategist company that actually helps people with their financial challenges. I'm going to talk about today our financial challenges that we all experience, how money works, And then I'm going to go into the wealth vehicles, the 6 cornerstones of wealth that we all should utilize in building our wealth, and then how to protect it. So 1, our financial strategies, our financial challenges that we experience. Debt, taxes, and inflation. These 3 things can rob us easily of our wealth if we're not careful. Debt can rob us by simply having a high interest rate on credit cards, a high interest rate on cars, a high interest rate on anything that you take a loan out on with a high interest rate. Taxes, which is the most expensive expense that we all carry. And then inflation. That's the silent killer. It sneaks up on us and we don't even realize it, or we don't even factor it into when we start building our wealth or saving for retirement. This is something we have to factor in. And some people don't understand inflation. So let's say in 1970, my dad purchased his car. He had a Cadillac, top of the line. It cost him maybe $10,000, maybe $11,000. Today, in 2017, that same type of car will cost $45,000. You see how over the years that inflation creeps up? So if you would have saved for a Cadillac at $10,000 in 1970 and said that in 2017 you were going to buy that same Cadillac, there's no way that you could buy that car for $10,000. You could, because it's worth $45,000. So we have to learn how to eliminate these or factor in these three killers of our wealth. And we have to understand how to deal with that. First, we got to reduce the debt. Just stop buying things that you don't need. And on credit, pay cash for clothes, for food. Taxes. We can learn how to reduce our taxes and our tax liability that we pay to the government. And then inflation. We need to find vehicles to build our wealth that outpaces inflation. So how do we do that? We have to learn how money works. The key to money is knowing how to make the money and doubling the money and allowing money to double itself, to work for you. And there's an actual formula that Einstein created called the Rule of 72. Or better known as the power of compound interest. Now you say, what is the Rule of 72? Well, it's a formula. So you'll take 72 is what the formula says and divide it by the interest rate or your rate of return, and it'll equal the number of years it takes to double that money. So, say for example, you purchase a stock and it yields at 10%. So what you'll do is you'll take 0.10 and divide it into 72 and you bring the decimal over 2 times. And you divide the 10 into the 72, and it goes 7.2 times. So it will equal 7.2 years to double your money. So if you actually put in $10,000, $10,000 today, in 7.5 years, which would be the year 2024, you will have $20,000. So, for example, in 7.5 years, say you want to go send your child to college and you want to put it in a actual investment vehicle that yields 10%, that not yields, but that actually has a rate of return of 10%, you would anticipate in 7.2 years that money will double. You have the money working for you. You invest $10,000 through the power of compound interest. You'll have $20,000 and you'll have your money without the labor for your child's college tuition. So now we want to talk about what are some of those wealth building vehicles. There's 6 of them. 6 cornerstones to wealth. We don't talk about this, but this might be the first time that you've heard of this, but these are vehicles that you can utilize. And I've actually created an acronym for them called PB FAIR. PB FAIR, I think of it as personal business fair. This is the fare that you need to pay in order to take care of your personal business. So the first cornerstone is precious metals. It's your gold, your silver, your platinum, your palladium, your rhodium. Those are actual metals that you would utilize to stockpile. So that's something you can give to your children and your children can give to your children. It's in the event that, say, the economy collapses and you'll have some type of currency to exchange for your goods or services. And people would actually, I call it God's money. The intrinsic value will never go out of style. So never go out of value. So at that point, the value of our currency is the dollar. When it goes down, the price of precious metals go up and the value goes up. So that way, for example, if our economy ever collapsed and you need a wheelbarrow full of money to go buy some French toast ingredients like eggs, milk, and bread, you can just give maybe a quarter because it's made out of silver, pure silver, as it's utilizing the intrinsic value for the exchange of the good. That's something, like I said, you want to stockpile and have in that type of event. The next one is B, business. Wow. Now this one is really something that everyone should really consider looking into. And people are doing it more and more now because of the fact working for someone else is just not enough. It's just not enough. People need more income. Even millennials are thinking of just going into business because they can't find jobs after they've graduated college. So at this point, it has a lot of benefits. One, remember Donald Trump said, or people were telling him during the election period, why don't you show us your tax returns? And people said, he doesn't pay federal taxes. He doesn't pay federal taxes. Well, and he says, I'm smart for not paying federal taxes. Well, he actually uses the tax laws in his business to actually not pay those taxes because of the tax deductions. There are 475 tax deductions that you can utilize in your business. You can use mileage, your entertainment, your supplies, your travel. Those kinds of things you can write off in your taxes to lower your tax liabilities so you don't pay as many taxes. The other thing is that you can actually be your own boss. You can create your own schedule in most cases. You don't have to ask permission to get off work or to do X, Y, and Z. You can live the life that you actually love to live. Now we're going to go into F, and that is foreign exchange. The foreign exchange is really world stock markets that you can actually invest in and can be very lucrative, very, very lucrative. So that's something that you would actually want to get a financial advisor to help you with as you invest and do your research. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you get a respected source when you're doing these investments. The A is annuities. It's actually insurance. And there are times when people will take their 401ks, their retirement plans from their job, and roll it into an annuity so that they can actually have that money make more money for them. And while it's still generating money or profits, or income, it actually gives you a payout as well. It actually helps you. There are types of annuities that will help you be utilized as a tax shelter. You don't have to pay taxes on. So again, when looking for a particular type of annuity, just make sure your tax liability is almost nothing, and that it is a safe place to park your money so that you will have your money throughout your retirement years. R, real estate. Some people think this is so impossible. You need so much money it's really easier than you think. I have actually experienced with a partner purchasing an actual duplex. Go ahead and purchase a duplex. You live on one side. That will be your primary residence. And then the other side of the duplex, you rent that out. And you can actually build the equity in that property and take the actual equity and apply it to another rental property. And just keep doing that. So maybe after 4 residential type of properties, you can go ahead and purchase a commercial property, an office building or a strip mall or an actual apartment building, and create more actual residual income for yourself. And you can also have the real estate as a business. So it's a double whammy. You'll get the tax write-offs from the actual business, and you'll actually create an income source for yourself throughout your retirement years and throughout. This is something that you can will to your children and to your children's children. And the last one is equities. Excuse me. Equities are actually privately held stocks by companies that don't publicly trade. And you can invest in those. And again, make sure that when you invest in those equities, that you do your research on the company and make sure that this company will generate a profit for you. Remember what I was talking about earlier in reference to asset protection. When you have your assets, you need to protect them utilizing insurance, you want to be able to protect everything that you have and own from people wanting to sue it, from other liabilities. And you want to ensure that your inheritance is passed down the way that you would like for it to be. And some of the actual items would be wills, trusts, and powers of attorney. I'm going to say power of attorney. And people don't understand that there's one for your health. And then there's a power of attorney for your finances. Two different power of attorneys is important in the event that you are unable to handle your personal affairs. You have these in place. Very, 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 very vital. And one other thing that you may want to consider in reference to your protecting your nest egg is to have the long-term care insurance in place. As you get older, you just don't know what life will bring. And having that long-term care insurance will be helpful. They are predicting that 40% of baby boomers, those are individuals that were born from 1946 to 1964, will be in some type of long-term care facility. 40%. That's the largest population that has ever been birthed in the United States history. That's a lot of people. So I actually recommend that you definitely get a long-term care policy. Look into that, maybe through your job or maybe with a group of people or organizations that you could join to actually get a lifetime care policy. Remember that I have a gift for you. It's the Wealth Report at MarthaDoddSpeaks.com that will elaborate more on what we're discussing today. I wish you the best as you overcome your financial challenges, double your money with the PB Fair and wealth tools, and protect your assets and investments. Remember, in Proverbs 13:22, it says, "A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children." Love you all. Martha Dodd, your financial strategist, wishing you love.